Why buy a house? The prices are high. Relatively, 7% is high interest compared to the last 10 years, but it's still not high. And why should you go through all this emotional stress to buy a house? Well, let me give you a bunch of little snippets of information that will prove buying a home is probably the best decision you'll ever make for investment's sake, emotional stability, many reasons, to control over your own space. So stick with me, I'll be right back. In 2016, I bought a townhouse outside of Boston, and the market was just recuperating from, 2008. 2011 was probably the worst, and then it started recuperating a little at a time. So now it's 2015. It's Christmas. It's 3 days before Christmas. No one's looking for houses. Somebody had to sell. I found this wonderful condo for under $300,000. Is that, 8 years later, is that a possibility? Unbelievable. It has doubled in value in 8 years. So 10 years from now, we don't know what it'll be worth, but if you bought something now, don't you think in 10 years it's going to be worth more? 20 years, even more. I also own an income property. Well, back in 2013, no one was buying anything. But this was part of an inheritance. That's different. If you're inheriting property, we should talk. Anyway, that property has more than doubled. The mortgage is covered with rental income, and the market's gone up for rentals. It's gone up for purchasing income property, 2 units. There's so many things you can do with it over time. Granted, I kept putting money into it to improve it and be able to command more rent. But there's so much you can do with a rental property, especially if you want to live on one side and have a renter help pay your mortgage. There's so many things you can do with investment real estate. So here are 3 things that they have done surveys, and they're finding that 89% of people are buying a house because it gives them emotional stability. They feel emotionally this is a really good investment because it's their home. They're going to live there. And number 2, 67% of buyers think that they're getting a feeling of stability and permanence in owning their own home. So no matter what, an owner of a property can't kick you out because they're selling or they want to increase the rent or whatever. This is your home, you pay your mortgage, and you have that feeling that there's someplace to come home every night that you have control over. And third, 58% of buyers say one of the important things for them buying their own home is to have control over their living environment. You can alter it. You can paint it whatever color you want. You can create a living environment that makes you happy. That is a huge plus in owning your own property. So if you have second thoughts or you've been thinking about it and you haven't pulled the trigger yet, well, the kind of thing, if a buyer is willing and wants to talk and learn about more, I can sit down with a client. We can go get a cup of coffee, sit with our computer and some paper and work out, what are you making this year? What do you expect to be making in 5 years, 10 years from now? Your salary will grow. Your mortgage looks very expensive right now. So does the rent. But 5 or 10 years from now, when everything has increased, as it does, you'll look back at your mortgage payment and say, oh, it's fixed. Everyone else is paying more than that for rent now, but you're locked in. So you can have a secure, comfortable feeling that you own your own home. The first few years are the hardest. As time goes by, it's like, oh my God, am I glad I made that decision. Not only that, we can look at trends over time, see what your property will be worth. Even if it just increases 3 to 5% every year, you will start to gain equity. If you ever had to sell, oh, look, your house made $100,000 in the last 5 years. Don't be afraid. If you can do it, crunch the numbers, learn, educate yourself, get a great agent and work with them, and then go out and find your perfect home. I'd be happy to help. And thanks for watching Boston and the Burbs. I'm Karenobrienre, broker with Stewart St. James. Have a great day.